50 Shades Darker is hitting theaters. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you like garbage. I have your review right here on Screen Junkies News.
You got me. You got me. You got me. You got me.
You're just gonna stand there gawking?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dan Merle, and I have your review for 50 Shades Darker right here on Screen Junkies News. I'm doing this review solo because I could not, in any good conscience, ask anyone else who worked here to actually go see this movie. That's right, 50 Shades of Grey has a sequel, and it's hitting theaters once again just in time for Valentine's Day. Everyone's favorite horrible, terrible, mismatched couple, Christian Grey and Anastasia Steele, are back, and this movie picks up right where the first movie abruptly left off. It seems like a couple weeks later, but don't worry, these two lovebirds are back together in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
A check, please.
I could go further into the plot of this movie, but what's the point really? This script feels like it was written by a third grader's third grader. E.L. James famously insisted that the screenwriter from the first 50 Shades of Grey movie, which looks like a masterpiece compared to this one, be replaced by her husband so that he could more fully realize her vision of the wonderful literature known as the original 50 Shades trilogy. Well, congratulations, because this movie is one of the worst written movies I have ever seen. Plot developments come and go, weird things happen out of nowhere. There's a scene that starts at night and then goes to day, but then tries to pick up later that night. Not even the screenplay knows what's going on with this movie or even really cares. I knew this movie was really bad when I was sitting in my seat in the theater going, man, 50 Shades of Grey really had a tight story structure. Even the sex scenes in this movie don't make any sense. They're lifeless, they're dry, they're not integrated into the movie in any way, shape, or form. At least in the first movie, you had Beyonce. You had something, at least for your ears, to enjoy. This is bland. The soundtrack is bland. What you're seeing on screen is bland. This is an abysmal movie. It is so incredibly boring. Imagine watching two people who don't really like each other talk to each other for 2 hours straight, interrupted every 15 minutes or so by a really lackluster sex scene, and you're kind of approximating the slog that is watching 50 Shades Darker. Let me tell you something, folks. The people that made this movie don't care about you. They're not trying to turn you on. They're not trying to entice you. This movie is the bare minimum for what could possibly be called a movie. I take it as my job as a film critic to try to inform you, the public, on what you should or should not see. And I'm telling you, do not go see this movie. It is the worst example of cynical filmmaking. It is the worst example of a studio saying, like, we're gonna put boobs in our movie to try to entice people to go see it. It's not sexy, it's not entertaining. One thing it is funny, but it doesn't mean to be. That's right, there are some dialogue lines in this movie that got the biggest laughs of any movie I've seen in the last year. And that's because if the dialogue's written terribly, it's acted twice as poorly. Dakota Johnson, Jamie Dornan, I don't know what you're doing in this movie. I don't know why you agreed to do one of these, let alone 3 of these. Kim Basinger, you're an Oscar-winning actress, and by the end of this movie, you're a third-rate cookie from Empire. Don't get slogged down in this mess, please. Some of you must have no pay clause. Some of you must be able to get out of this third movie. Get us out of this third movie. I'm calling for a general strike on all actors and crew members for the third 50 Shades of Grey movie. Do not subject audiences to this torture again. This is a terrible, terrible movie. Don't go see it ironically. Don't rent it. Let it die. Let it wither on the vine. Don't see this movie. It is terrible.
I'm so sorry.
There are 2 other movies opening this weekend, Lego Batman movie and John Wick Chapter 2. I guarantee you both of those movies are sexier than this movie is. As a matter of fact, and I never thought I would say this, I would recommend watching the original 50 Shades of Grey movie over this movie. And it's not because the 50 Shades of Grey movie is good, it's because this movie is worse than you could possibly have expected it to be. I'm serious, folks. Don't see 50 Shades Darker. It's really bad.
Intrigued.
Well, that's what I thought of 50 Shades Darker. Could you tell what I actually thought of the movie? To check out more, right here, we have so many other reviews of better movies coming out this weekend. You can see those right here. You can also check out Screen Junkies News for breaking news, reviews, everything you need to know every single day of the week right here. Thanks for watching. Till next time, I'm Dan Merle.